what I'd like to talk about is our multi-dimensional, or the multi-dimensional reality that we find ourselves living in. And as we've come into the scientific paradigm, as a species, we have moved very far from a multi-dimensional paradigm to live our lives from. And we've created a three-dimensional scientific paradigm that does not account for many, many things that happen. It doesn't account for the mechanism of the placebo effect. It doesn't give us any possible understanding of what love is. And yet, those things manifest in our lives every day. And we pass them off as irrelevant. So that being said, I'm extremely grateful to be alive at this time, particularly in this present day 2020 reality where we're faced with this so-called pandemic. Is part of the expression of this multi-dimensional reality that we live in. Viruses and bacteria and fungi make up more of our physical body than our actual cells. We are an expression of Earth and the microbiome, which contains viruses, bacteria, fungus, is a part of that. It's a part of our connection to the earth. Much of indigenous wisdom, spiritual traditions, and common experience are being minimized in our culture, if not completely ignored. And so what I'd like to do, it's said that if you really understand one verse of the Bhagavad Gita, which is called the Song of Life from the Vedic tradition, which is thousands of years old, that's all you need to do if you could completely understand it. And so I would like to take one sutra from the Bhagavad Gita, and it's so relevant to me in what I've talked about before about the power of exercise as being a healing modality. And that sutra is, in Sanskrit, it's Yogastha Karu Karmani. It translates into established in yoga, perform action. We have in this world today this desire to know what right action is. And so we have Black Lives Matter and all these things that tell us what right action is. But according to the Bhagavad Gita, that's not what right action is. Anything that can be described, any rules or anything, are not right action. So what right action is, it comes from this phrase, established in yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is complete integration of body, mind, and spirit. That's the definition of yoga. Established in that integrative state. Physiologists would call it parasympathetic dominance. Athletes would call it the zone. Monks would call it transcendence, beyond thought. But it's describing this state where the mind is not engaged. And from that place, right action spontaneously manifests. And because from that place, all of the various components of the moment are taken into consideration by the cosmic computer or the cosmic heart or creative intelligence. And from that place, right action spontaneously evolves. Athletes, baseball players, there's been documented cases of where an outfielder will start to run to where the ball will land before it hits the batter's bat. That's the zone. It wasn't a thought process. It wasn't a rule. It could not be programmed into a computer. But the cosmic computer knew before it happened, because time is a manifestation of the mind. Quantum physics will tell us that. Time really does not exist. And this is the mystery of life. This is where we should have our attention being focused, is capturing the ability to tap into this mystery where spontaneous right action would evolve. From that place, there is no problem. There is no fear. There's only expression, creation. It's how the world comes into existence. So what COVID-19 is doing is it's creating an opportunity, not an opportunity, but almost a necessity for us to tap into this place, or we get lost in fear. We get lost in the mind. Another sutra in the Bhagavad Gita is, many branched and endlessly diverse are the intellects of the irresolute. What that means is once you start thinking about what right action is from a place not grounded in this all-knowing cosmic heart, we could call it, then there's no end to the chaos that will be created. So that's from the Bhagavad Gita. And then there's another verse from the Bible that comes to mind. In fact, I wrote this on my Facebook account this morning. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of COVID-19, I will fear no evil. Fear cannot be found in the present moment, in that space of no mind. So what that is saying is, what the verse says is that as I proceed forward, I have no fear. No matter what's going on around me, I'm in that place of spontaneous right action. And even if I die, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to enjoy, embrace each moment right up until my point of death with this immense gratitude for the experience. And in that place, there's no fear. And then it says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. What is that? What is your rod and your staff that gives you comfort no matter where you walk? What is your rod and your staff that is always there to comfort you, to bring you into that place of full integration, into the zone, our natural state? I know what mine is, and I can't describe it. And everybody has access to it, to that place. And that's what I, from time to time, have been able to create the circumstances where a person will find their own path to that place. I don't do it. They do it. And that's my intention every time I work with someone or try to support someone, is to allow them to find the place inside themselves that is omniscient, omnipotent, ever-present, and has no fear. The question is, for me, how do I get to that place established in yoga? And there are many ways that we can get there. But what I've found is the most important for me, the most important practice for me, is knowing when I'm really far away from there. How do I know I'm not there? How I know I'm not there for me is if I have an emotional charge about anything that anybody outside myself is doing or saying, or any fear, any judgment, any criticism, any defensiveness. And how I know when those things are happening is I feel it in my body. There's kind of a tension that comes over me. I kind of brace myself. My breathing maybe gets interrupted. And that's when I know I'm not there. And when I find myself there in that place of judgment, defensiveness, criticism of anybody or anything, then if I have my wits about me, which I don't always have, I will stop. And I will know that anything I say or do from that place will not be right action, because I'm not established in yoga. When I'm established in yoga, there's no thought. There's only words that come from deep down. They're self-manifest almost. I just happen to be there as that information is coming through, but it's not from me. It's through me. And there's such a comfort in knowing that. It's like a balm that soothes my whole body, just that thought, that it comes through me, not from me. It abdicates all my responsibility. So, if that helps you to get some insights into your own way of discovering your path to the zone, to the yoga, then I'm grateful to have shared that. Thank you.